Good evening. Tonight we are doing a work day. As you can see, we have a pair of jeans here, which have seen better days. We are going to use this denim to patch them. And you get to learn along there. Well, you get to learn and I practice. So the first thing to do is to turn these jeans inside out. If we want to attach the patch to the inside of the leg. Flatten these out a little bit. Excuse me. It's mostly flattened out. Let's see if we can get right. So you see we've got this lovely tear along the inseam. We're not actually going to measure anything because we really don't have to. Oh, and these jeans have been washed and dried, so they are as shrunk as they will be. And what we want is something that's a bit longer and a bit wider to reinforce the rest of the fabric on the inseam, because it's probably weakened as well. Make sure you have good fabric shears. These are the Pi 7205 high carbon stainless. If you're smart and diligent, you won't actually do it like this. You will cut the patch on a different section of your table, which my table's a little too small for that. Okay. Oh, there goes my... So we have our patch. It's a good size. We want to trim the edges. These wrist warmers might get in the way, so I might have to take them off, which would be sad. Ironing this certainly won't do it any harm. Assuming I can get the iron to work. It should be hot. I don't know, maybe I should have worn my other headset so you could actually hear some of this background noise. I'm using my new bone conducting headset, which apparently is actually pretty good getting rid of the background noise. Okay. Once you've got a patch of... I'm going to trim this a little more. Trim this a little straighter is what we're going to do. Much straighter, apparently. Alright, there, close enough. So this is the dark side. We'll put that out so that if anything shows through on the outside of the pants, which it shouldn't, it will be mostly, or at least close to, the same color. You actually might want to trim this a little more so we can avoid this seam. What we'll be doing is stitching around the edge of the patch with a zigzag stitch. And if we can avoid going into thicker fabric to do that, it's generally best. In order to hold it in place, we are going to use Stitch Witchery, which is a fusible web. It's like iron-on glue, basically. And it'll hold the fabric in place without me having to remove pins. Let's see, is it really strictly necessary to put any alongside the rip? Probably not, but I'm going to anyway. We do want some along the edge of the patch. And if it overlaps, it doesn't matter that much. Just a little bit of extra glue to melt. Wow, I've got something stuck in my throat. Okay, so these we will lay out. You can get out of the way. And you can get out of the way. And just lay it on top like that. Make sure the web is underneath the edge of the patch because you don't really want it sticking to your iron, which it will. Okay. You have to hold it on there long enough for the heat to get through the fabric and melt the webbing. And sometimes you just need to let the iron sit there on the fabric without moving it around. Although obviously you can't leave it on there too long, so just in case you scorch the fabric. Definitely should have thought to set up a different microphone. I don't know if the overhead camera has a microphone in it. Of course, then you'd have two sources for my voice, and that would get with a delay. So that's not melted at all under there, see? So I need to leave it on that corner more. I suppose the other headphones might pick up some of this background noise better than the bone conducting headphones do. Okay. Okay, that's stuck together. The corner's good. Here needs more. Now you may ask why, if we're using this fusible webbing, we also have to sew it. The answer is that the fusible webbing will wash off. Run it through the washer too many times and suddenly you don't have a patch. It's most useful for keeping the fabric in place without having to use pins, which for especially complex locations on the garment is quite useful. Okay. Now that we have that secured, it's time to stitch it. I really hope that bobbin was in the correct way because I'm going to put this bobbin in the exact same way. Okay, that's much smoother without jumping, so I think that's probably the right way to put it in. With the Singer logo, which you probably can't read because I haven't set the camera to autofocus, on top of the bobbin. Some stray threads in there. As you can see, I've got this nice kind of patterned blue thread. It's meant to match jeans. Oh, what are we stuck on? We are stuck on the little retention slot on that end of the spool. So we'll just turn that around so that doesn't catch. Down, up, down. It's caught in the traces. Needle, put the thread through the needle front to back. Let's see if I turn off. Can I turn off the light without turning off the machine? I don't think so. I'm afraid you'll just have to put up with that bright spot where you can't see anything where it's most important that you do. Oh, I don't want this. Oh, do I? Yeah, this one will be fine, I think. Hang on. We need the bobbin tail out. Okay, there we go. And I think I am going to do a test stitch just to see if this is working like it should. Oh, something's caught. That's not good. Okay, so it got a little bit tangled. Not too bad, actually. Seems to be the right tension. It's not looping, at any rate. So, right tension, right direction. Huzzah. We want to take that off. Give us room to get these pants underneath the arm. Is there an easier way to do this, I hear you say? No, probably not. Okay, so I've only got the cloth underneath here that I want to stitch, which is very important to make sure of. You can tell by rubbing along it and feeling if there's any unseemly lumps. Reverse to make sure you're actually secured on the back end. Why am I doing with this with a straight stitch? I should be doing it with a zigzag stitch. Okay. You know what? That's okay. Going around the perimeter with a straight stitch is fine. It's just the edge of the patch is going to fray eventually. And it'll come loose. And if I want to use a zigzag stitch, yes, I will have to change the foot. I don't think I can do that with all of this under here. Oh, clip that thread. That thread. Pull this. No, don't have to pull it out from underneath. Not necessarily. So this is the foot I was using. It's, I don't know. It has a specific use. It's good. This might be the zipper foot, I think. Maybe. But it's not suitable for... I don't think it's suitable for zigzag stitch. What we want is this one that has the wide hole in the middle. Yeah, that just comes off like that. And goes in one of these. It goes somewhere in here. Oops. Right. And it's held onto the arm by this screw. It really only needs to be hand tightened, which is kind of nice. Although you can tighten it with a screwdriver if you really want. Okay. Well, let's pull this out and do another test stitch to see if we're still okay for zigzag stitch. I think this particular machine sets that up automatically, which is kind of handy. I think the worst we'd have to do is adjust the stitch width. Why is that still just going straight? I have to switch that all the way over there. No. Oh, haha. I have to turn it to that. There we go. That gives us zigzag stitch. It should be fine, I think. And if it's not, I will have a lot of seam ripping to do. Okay. Again, get your material underneath the foot. Make sure there's no extraneous material hanging around. All right. I have to say that sewing down a pant leg like this is kind of a pain. Just because it doesn't actually all fit on the sewing machine. You just take your time, move things out of the way. We'll have to keep them moving, because this is going to get stuck if you let it. Just because it's not a flat piece of whatever that you are putting under your knee. Always check to make sure you don't have material under there you don't want to stitch. When I'm turning the piece around, I like to have my needle down into the fabric, because that actually makes it fairly easy to keep it from moving around where you don't want it. Okay. If I were smart, I'd probably take this out of the machine and not try to sew back up the leg. But I don't feel like being that smart today. So we're just going to turn around like this and keep going all the way around. It's probably not that dumb. I mean, it gets you up out of the leg into the hip, so it's wider. Okay, so stitching around the patch is done. And all of your loose threads are in one corner, which makes it easy to trim them off. Nice, neat, tidy. The zigzag will keep it from fraying as much. So now we need to turn this right side out again. So we can actually fix the tear. So this is already secured since we put the tape or the webbing along each side of this, so it's not going to go anywhere. So we're going to trim off the frays. Not too much, just enough so that they don't get tangled in the thread in the machine. going to be very careful to not launch. Decided, miss the entire point of this. Didn't see any of that, could you? Yeah, see, we trimmed all these little frays along here. It's probably not strictly necessary, not for these really short ones, not for the long ones that are still pinned down either, because we'll cover those. This again is just a zigzag stitch. What you're doing is you're going forward and you're reversing all along and across the tear. With the solid fabric on either side. Properly secured down to the patch, and so that all the frayed edges are also properly attached to the backing to the patch as well. Stitch down, they're not going to fray anymore, they're not going to tear anymore. Something's not stitching, I think. Yep, we ran out of bobbin thread. That's what the patch looks like, or the patched part looks like when you're wearing it, unless somebody's looking really closely. They won't even be able to tell that it's there, which is the advantage of this method. So let's get that bobbin out. Oops. Drop the foot off the arm. Should be a hole right there, I think. No. Yeah, I definitely should have used the other headset, because this one isn't registering as picking up any of the noise from the sewing machine. Well, things to know for next time. I mean, I suppose I could swap it out right now. Oh, why don't I do that? That'll take me just a second here. Find the right dongle. So in their infinite wisdom, HP decided that you didn't really need that many ports in your computer. So in order to accommodate the camera and the USB headset, need some accessories. Okay, we're going to turn this headset off.
Okay, that's working. The music apparently decided to quit. There we go. Okay. That seems to be registering the background noise, I think. Yes, okay. Don't know why I didn't think of that before. I guess I was just too excited to use my new headphone. Okay, so that's in there properly. Need to get this back in here properly. And why have I decided that my stream time is a good time to do projects? Because why not? I would just waste time on the internet otherwise. Okay, here we go again. Does this have my dragon avatar talking constantly? Apparently not. That's fine. Probably should have tested how this sounded before I started the stream, but didn't think about it, so... Looks like it needs a bit more up here. It is important to go back and forth, because that really does lock all the thread in place. Oh, come on. And that also makes it easier to cover the area. I hope I'm actually putting down any thread there. Okay, I think that looks fine. This is what it looks like on the underside. All of that stitching all over the tear and around the edge. The zigzag stitch that'll keep that from fraying very badly. You can trim off those frays as long as you don't cut anything that's not. Okay, I think we've got all of our loose threads clipped very nearly. Some loose thread there in the crotch right there. Oh, that's a bit of the warp or weft of the patch. And that's what it looks like. A nearly invisible repair. That's part of the reason why it's important to get a thread that matches fairly closely with the fabric. And it looks like I'm going to have to get another spool of this somewhere in order to fix the other tears, or potential tears, before they get as large as this one was. There's several trouble spots on here. But you do those the same way, just cut a patch of the appropriate size, stitch them on, and it saves you the 50 or 70 bucks that a new pair of pants costs. Anyway, that I think is all for me for today. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you learned something. We might do some more of this some other time. Have a lovely rest of the week, and I hope to see you on Friday when I will be racing Pac-Man Power Ghost in Skyward Sword Randomizer. So, see you then. Good night.